Casey Kasem, 1976. Remember that Beach Boys compilation? Any of my viewers remember the music in 1976? Anyhow, it's kind of a serious morning. That storm verified 2 a.m. north of Caribou, Maine, the one we've been tracking for so long. What do you think of that, T-Rex? Yeah, it was ugly. Not on Cape Cod. Cape Cod, the sun came out yesterday, and now we have the rain from the front that came from Alaska across Canada and picked up Debby and accelerated it well ahead of the forecast from back on Monday. We thought Debby might be in North Carolina this morning. So the Euro did a great job with the timing, not so much the track. NHC did an outstanding job with the track. So here we are in South Dennis, and it's raining lightly on our garden, which is just the perfect kind of rain. Not very much rain, nowhere near that 3 inches that well, at least so far, that the HRR had for us in near Falmouth this morning. And Debby was a disaster, really. Probably more of an impact up here in the Northeast as a post-tropical cyclone than it was in the Southeast, although I didn't pay real close attention, but it looks like we dodged a bullet as the storm accelerated across the southeastern United States. But then the transition from pure tropical to post-tropical, warm core to cold core, was a disaster. Hundreds of thousands without electricity this morning from Ohio into Maine, and then Quebec hit even harder, it looks like, with more than 169,000 without electricity. Those are customers. So, you know, any household could have 3 to 5 people or business with more than that. So could be close to 1 million people without electricity in the Northeast and southeastern Canada today. The sequence of events, Debby went post-tropical as a wave on a front, almost not even discernible on Thursday night, and then reemerged yesterday morning as about a 1,002 millibar low, headed up west of the Hudson River, and then just deep into a 998 low over the Champlain Valley and into Montreal. A lot of friends reporting from Vermont. Brendan Diem was driving through about Lebanon, New Hampshire when the front was at its heart over New Hampshire, but the front coming across the Connecticut River was nothing compared to what happened in the Champlain Valley. Matt Sikowski was out there. The center of the storm came right over Burlington, Vermont, gusted to 62 miles an hour, sun and rain near Lake Champlain yesterday about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And after the rain had ended, the wind just cranked for an hour or two, and Matt saw the metal roofing come off one of the buildings in his town, St. Albans. And then he walked around the other side of the building and saw the old shingles that were under the metal roof also being ripped from the roof. So this storm was all it could be over the Champlain Valley. Yesterday in the middle of the day, there was a flash flood emergency in Binghamton, New York, where it looks like the rainfall was in the order of 2 to 5 inches. But the rain got more intense for several hours as Debby went cold core and deepened several millibars. And in Montreal, Volcaholic, I don't know where he gets all those videos, but it was one of the best videos I've seen out of Montreal there. And Valley Weather, great post by Valley Weather talking about 176 millimeters of rain in his neighborhood, which translates to close to 7 inches of rain, which matches up with the CapeCod data, which is very sparse there, but you can see the 7 right over Montreal. And that is enough for the single wettest day since records began in Montreal more than 130 years ago. So really a devastating storm there from Pennsylvania into New York and Vermont and now in Canada. And now it's weakening over the St. Lawrence River Valley and moving out. Oh, there were a couple other things I wanted to show you from in here. Yeah, the scenes coming out of Aalborg, Vermont this morning. This was actually yesterday. There was a rescue ongoing. This tree crushed a home in Alberg, and 3 people had to be rescued from the home, and I think that was successful. So many reports of damage coming out of New York and Vermont. And if you go to the map of the damage, the gray circles are called non-thunderstorm winds. So even outside of the severe thunderstorms, which there weren't that many of actually, the orange dots, those are flash flood areas, so all the flash flooding was to the west of New England. But those gray dots indicate winds gusting past generally 55 miles an hour. Severe storm criteria. Once you get a gust past 55 miles an hour, that can really cause a lot of damage, and that's what brought down those trees. On the summit of Mount Washington, the gust was 105 miles an hour last night after the sun went down. And Francis, observer up there on the mountain, there he is yesterday out in the rain, 1.8 inches of rain. Francis says 105 miles an hour is now the August 9th daily record. So we had one of the strongest October weather systems that can impact Mount Washington, at least as far as not a hurricane. It's a post-tropical storm. That means cold core. But we are still far from the heart of hurricane season, several weeks away, and there's another system out there about 1,000 miles west of Senegal, and that one is going to be a troublemaker in our forecast headache department next week. National Hurricane Center has that headed for what I call our wheelhouse. Anytime a system goes north of the Caribbean and toward the Bahamas, that is called our wheelhouse. Those storms can come up and get us if they're moving fast and they're still tropical and they stay along the coast. And we'll get to Ernesto's possibilities in a few minutes. First of all, this rain on Cape Cod, which is getting stronger as I'm out here now getting soaked, is not long for this world. Another couple of hours. By the time I get this published, the sun should come out, as it did yesterday. The sun came out yesterday, but boy, was it soupy. And it was fairly windy. Now today, it's going to take some time for the soupy weather, the dew points in the 70s this morning, to diminish. There's the map with the temperatures and the wind, and the temperatures, black numbers in the 60s and 70s. Dew point numbers now still in the 70s from Boston Point south and falling into the 60s. But there's really the dry air is behind another front that's still way up over Lake Superior. We talked about that storm coming into Ontario that was going to slingshot Debby out, but the cooler air is going to take a day to get in here, cooler and drier air. Here's the Boston 5-day from the Euro. Congratulations, Euro. Pretty much doing the best job I could tell on this storm. It shows the sun increasing today and the dew point going down, the temperature in the mid-80s, and then it looks gorgeous. What a week. Did you pick this week for a vacation? Wow. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, highs near 80, winds 15 to 20, maybe gusting to 25, mostly out of the west, which is best. It's going to take some time for the high pressure system to get in here, and that's why it's going to stay kind of windy for a while. And by the way, this is a very optimistic outlook. We talked yesterday about the upper level low that's over us, but that looks less intense on today's guidance. Here's the forecast map this evening. There's the front kind of stalled over eastern New England, but I think we are going to dry out and the sun will come out even here. Boston Pop's still looking good with diminishing wind. And those blue, well, excuse me, the orange dashed lines, those are surface troughs and upper level low coming through here. And you see tomorrow afternoon, there's a shade of green with the red border. Chance of a shower and a thunderstorm. That's a cool pool aloft coming in. So instability. Brendan, you may get a shower there from Killington Points north doing your mountain biking tomorrow, but nothing big. And then why don't we just get to the Euro now and go forward and try and be optimistic. This is a very optimistic 10-day forecast from the Euro with Debby racing across and headed for Scandinavia. Yeah, we'll be tracking that. I'll track that across the North Atlantic this week. And we have the upper level low with a few showers tomorrow night, and Monday. I didn't talk much about them, but those are instability showers, mostly for the high country. If it were winter, those would be scattered snow showers, and Jay Peak would be picking up a couple inches of snow. We'll wait on that, okay? Let's wait for the leaves to turn first. And then the high pressure system gradually builds in here, and there's still an upper level low, but the guidance is not showing any of those showers and thunderstorms that it had yesterday. So I think this is probably a little underdone. So generally fair weather, but subject to change, very low confidence. Front's off to our south. It looks like the next front's going to be crossing the nation. It's intensifying a little bit next Friday over the Great Lakes states. And here comes potential major hurricane Ernesto. And I like this track a lot better than what we've seen last couple days. This is now east of Bermuda. The front comes in here next weekend with some showers and thunderstorms and pushes potential Ernesto out well to our east. This is very optimistic outlook and subject to change every single day. That's what we do here every single day. We go out the door, weather and more. We get raindrops on our lens. And today is changeover day, but guess what? No one's checking in. Anyone need a short-term, quick vacation on Cape Cod? Here you go. Look at some landscaping. Scott's out there regardless of the weather. He's out there. We're planting grass. This is a nice gentle rain for our grass seed on our edge of our new road. So yesterday, I really appreciate the input. Steve White, North Hero, Vermont. We lost something in resolution, but that's a bay, I can't remember the name of it, in Lake Champlain. And our friend John Young, Twitter X now, friend, he grows these giant pumpkins. He also grows giant sunflowers. His sunflowers are up to 15 plus feet tall. He lost a couple of sunflowers. The wind gusted to 60, hit his garden, and he lost a tree in his backyard. Yeah, thumbs down on losing the tree, but his pumpkins are fine. So hopefully you weathered it too. Appreciate the input and the more from yesterday here on Cape Cod, kind of relishing in our good fortune and feeling bad about others' misfortune. And we should all share in some good fortune with some much nicer weather over the next several days. All right, talk to you tomorrow. We'll have T-Rex and Steve tomorrow. The real T-Rex. What do you mean real T-Rex? I'm not a real T-Rex? Yeah, I know how you feel. Kasem, 1976. Frampton Comes Alive. Casey and the Sunshine Band. I can't remember the name of the song. I'm not good at music, but I love it. Copyright. Most popular song, August 11th, 1976. Yeah, enough, Tim, enough. Get to the and more. I'm so nostalgic. Just about 11 a.m. on our Friday. That's out the door weather and more. Edit for what turns out is now yesterday. And the sun is out. That is pure tropical blue sky air up there. Clean air from the tropics. A lot of times we talk about... What was that? A lot of times we talk about clean air from Canada. Well, we also get clean air from the tropics. What was that noise? Anyhow, there's that word anyhow. If you played a drinking game while you were watching my videos and you had to drink every time I said anyhow, you wouldn't make it through 10 minutes. Gotta get rid of that word. Differential advection. Look at those clouds. Some look stationary, others look like they're whipping. They're all moving pretty fast, but it's a matter of perspective. The higher clouds don't appear to be moving as fast. And those are cirrocumulus, the storm clouds. Anyhow. Let's go to the beach. 213 High Bank Road, traffic wave, Liberty Hall in South Venice. Hosting a barbecue picnic. I think it's Sunday, what, August 29th? No, that would be a Friday. In a couple of weeks. Anyhow, it's sunshine. Anyhow, drink. Blue sky. And it's 86 degrees on Cape Cod. Fairly breezy. Going to test the water. That water. That's actually where we did the scalloping right there. Testing Bass River about 3 or 4 miles north of here. Let's do another episode on what's the difference between Hibiscus and Rose of Sharon. Not much. This is beautiful. Disco Bell Hibiscus. This is the multi-flowered, perhaps Rose of Sharon. And then when they grow almost this big, then that's definitely Rose of Sharon. Rose of Sharon. Testing complete. How's the water?
Warm.
79.8 degrees. What's the difference between a hibiscus and a rose of Sharon?
They are both hibiscuses. They're different varieties of hibiscus.
Yours up against the fence are gorgeous. Those would be more Rose of Sharon?
Yes.
And little ones more disco bell hibiscus?
The big ones are the plate hibiscus.
Plate hibiscus.
I'm sure there's a Latin name for it, but I don't know Latin.
Yeah, I call them disco bell. I heard that somewhere, but those are even bigger, I think, than yours. Those plates are bigger than the disco bell, right?
Yeah.
Looking over at Dennis over there, it looks kind of quiet on the pond today. There's nobody out there. They must have heard the forecast. It's supposed to be a terrible day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's when the weatherman shows up at the beach all by himself. Closing in on 5 o'clock. Still sunny on Cape Cod. Kind of breezy. Pretty Friday afternoon. There was a little honey bunch right on that step right there. Now we're going out the door for weather and more. With a special dog that wants to be in today's out the door weather more. Hi, Jack. How you doing? Yeah, you're precious. So nice to see you today. This is the official mascot of Friends of Bass River. Let's go check it out. Come on, Jack. Come on. Yeah. You come this way. Come on. You come on. Right. Yeah. This way. Come on. Let's go. That technically is not Bass River. That's Mill Pond, but yeah, it is. It's part of Bass River. It's connected. We're all connected. And we're all brothers. And we're all friends. Huh, Jack? Yeah. I'm not sure. You got so many sliders here. Which one you want to go in? You want to come home with me? Totally socked in. Very killing. As the sun heads for the horizon here at Bass River and South Dennis, Fallens Pond, seems like we really dodged a bullet. With the storm going way up to our west, our good fortune is others' misfortune from Pennsylvania to New York and into Canada tonight with the remnant of Debby. I really appreciate all the content offered up from my friends traveling into Vermont and from Vermont, where it looks like as the sun goes down here on Cape Cod, the back edge is coming through without a lot of severe weather, which is great. So let's just play it out, Piano Man. Probably some more content coming in that I haven't seen yet. Here on Friday night in South Dennis on Cape Cod. Turned into a gorgeous day and not too windy.